Hey folks, Sawyer with DR Power Equipment. Today we're going to be going over some quick and easy preventative maintenance that will help your mower run smoothly year after year. Now for today's demonstration, I have an XD26 Field and Brush Mower. Now we need to start getting into the habit of performing routine maintenance on new machines like this one, means that we can prevent issues before they start. We always recommend using a non-ethanol gas with your DR machine, and if you do plan on storing it for the season or using it intermittently, we do recommend using a fuel stabilizer. The stabilizer keeps your fuel from separating. When gasoline separates, it can introduce water into the fuel system. DR offers a stabilizer specifically designed for the engines on our machines, but your local hardware or auto parts store will have a wide selection of fuel additives. Just make sure that the additive that you're using is specifically for small engines. There's many brands out there and we got to follow the instructions because they may vary. Using a fuel stabilizer is also a non-corrosive way to passively break down gunk deposits that could be affecting your engine's performance. Our fuel stabilizer specifically should be used with a ratio of 2 ounces of additive for every 5 gallons of gasoline. So check the capacity of your gas containers. Do some quick math and adjust the amount of stabilizer you use accordingly. Okay, so we have our 5-gallon tank of gas here, and we have our additive. It already measures out 2 ounces for us, and that's all we're gonna need for this. So first we're gonna be taking off the cap to the gas tank. Okay, putting that to the side, and then adding our 2 ounces. Perfect. Now we want to make sure that this mixes very nice and smoothly. So we're just going to shake that around a little bit, make sure it's all even. We're going to put this off to the side for right now. Okay, let's talk about storing your machine long term. Now, depending on your DR machine, there's 2 different ways that you can go about this. You either can have the fuel tank full or completely empty. Before we start the process though, I do recommend moving the machine to the storage location because once we're done with the process, this machine will not be able to turn back on. To do this, we're gonna need a couple of things. For starters, we're gonna need some gloves, some eye protection, some needle nose pliers, a drain pan, and locking pliers. And if you're storing your machine with a full tank, you will need fresh, ethanol-free gas and fuel stabilizer. Also make sure that you are in a well-ventilated area because you will be dealing with gas fumes and exhaust which are considered hazardous. Here at the DR shop, we are using a professional HVAC system, so we're ready to get started. Now this XD that I have in front of me has a fuel shutoff valve which is located right underneath the gas tank here. Check your machine for the switch that looks like this. It could be under the fuel tank or somewhere along the fuel line, or even on the carburetor itself. This gives you the option to leave the tank full and only drain the engine itself. On the flip side, this Pro trimmer here does not come equipped with a fuel shutoff valve, so we are gonna have to drain this fully. But before we do that, we're gonna get this XD26 ready for storage. First, I'm gonna close that fuel shutoff valve, which will stop the gas from flowing from the gas tank into the rest of the fuel system. Next, I'm going to take the gas that we just mixed with fuel stabilizer and I'm going to fill up the rest of the gas tank until it's full. I don't want to leave any room for air. If you leave air in your fuel tank, the gasoline that's in it is more likely to go stale over time. Now that the fuel shutoff valve has been closed, the best way to get the rest of the gas out is actually going to be running the mower. So we're going to do that right now. Now this process should take roughly about 1 minute, maybe even 2, and then the engine should shut off. And there we go. Now all the fuel is out of the system, the carburetor is clean, and this is ready for storage. Now moving over to our Pro model DR trimmer. Now this model does not come equipped with a shutoff valve. Now if your machine doesn't come with a shutoff valve, we do recommend that you try to run it dry. Just like we did with the XD26, I have already run all the gas out of this machine. Now, if you have to do this manually, we are going to actually be showing you how to unhook the fuel line. First, you're going to use your locking pliers to shut off the flow of fuel to the carburetor by clamping the fuel line and positioning a drain pan below the fuel tank. Now, using your needle nose pliers, you're going to pinch open the clamp that secures the fuel line to the gas tank and slide it away from the end of the line. Then, work the fuel line off the outlet port of the tank. If you're working on a machine that is older, the fuel line could be pretty stiff if it hasn't been removed in a few years. If that is the case, gently rock the line back and forth until it comes off like so. Fuel should drain from the tank. Now, release the locking pliers to allow the rest of the fuel to drain into the pan safely from the carburetor. Last, simply start the machine with the fuel line disconnected. The engine will burn off the remaining fuel in the system. Let the machine run until it sputters to stop on its own. It should only take a minute or two to purge the system entirely. When finished, don't forget to reattach the fuel line you removed during the process. You're just going to fit the line over the outlet port and then slide the clamp over the top of it, like so. Make sure the pressure clamp has fully settled into its locked position. There. This trimmer is ready to be put in storage. Now, if you run into any issues with any of your other DR equipment, give us a call. Our technical support team will be there to help. Thanks for watching.